All right, hello, hello, hello. So we're going to do a little flight down here to Knoxville, Tennessee. So let's start getting set up here. Got most of it in. This is going to be emulating a real flight here. This is flight 4983. It left, what time did it leave? 8:52 a.m. Eastern. So let's go ahead and check LaGuardia. And I want to see, what are they actually taking off? They look like they are departing 4. So we'll keep 4. LaGuardia 7, runway 4. Let's see what they're landing in Knoxville. It's not showing the wind, which is sucko, because that makes it hard. Okay, they have 1 runway. No, they have 2 runways. 1 runway? One runway. I've been to Knoxville. It's been quite a while. All right, so we'll plan for 5 right. Let's see. Maybe we won't. Do RNAV 5 right, that's fine. And yep, it's just a direct in. So RNAV 5 right is the one. So let's go ahead and we'll get this set up here, write it all down. Where my paper was for that, there we go. Right, so runway 4, LaGuardia 7. It's going to be RNAV 5 right. It says 5 right. I don't see what where the other runway is. Is that they just have a paved and they have okay, that yeah, I thought that was a runway. It is. It's just I don't know if it's in use. Nope, it's closed. Yep, it's closed. Okay. That runway's closed. You put a yellow X on it if it's closed. So that's good. Good to know. All right, good. So that looks good. Let's get the nav log up, and I will fix the altitude. So let's see what they planned on. 340. Okay, don't do that. Click on the actual box I'm clicking on, game. Thank you. All right, 340. Let's go in. We'll customize fuel and the flight number 4983. We just need to change one number there. Beautiful. 4983. Let's do weight and balance. That looks fine. Let's see where we're out to. Come on. If you don't change the fuel, it doesn't show, which is friggin' obnoxious. That's very tight on fuel. Let's go up to, we'll do 50. It's a little bit of a longer flight, so 60% fuel's good there. All right, let's make sure it didn't screw me on altitude. It didn't. All right, I think we're good here. So let's go ahead and, oh, the gate departure. I got to do that or else that will screw us up. 98 is the gate. All right. Come on, scroll, scroll, scroll. Please, please, please. Just scroll properly. 98. 98 right there. All right, beautiful. And let's double check, make sure it didn't screw my altitude, and we're good. I'll up the music just a little. Let me know if it gets too loud. All right, so Knoxville's actually a really cool city. I flew in there when I was in the airlines before, and we had a nice long overnight, and I did, well, I want a print screen of that. Let's take that. It was a really cool town to walk around. Very good walkable city. They had the World's Fair there some point back in the good old days when they had World Fairs. But, you know, so they had some cool street art and just really cool walking city. I didn't like the restaurant I went to, but they had some cool restaurants. All right, we're going to go start cold and dark. All right, and we're going to go ahead and get going here. So hydraulics are off, nose wheel steering is off, landing gear handle is down, spoilers are 0, flaps are 0, radars are off, ADG handle, oh, take the parking brake off too, ADG handle is stowed, emergency flap is stowed, battery. All right, battery's up. All right, we're going to go to DC electrics, make sure we have 22 on the APU battery. Go back to status. We go ahead and open the APU door. APU and byte built-in test equipment. SOV shutoff valve is open and APU door is open. We can spin. All right, APU spin it. I wonder if I can work this handle now. Just for looks, but that's the how you get out in emergency, and there's your rope right there. All right, once the APU comes up, we'll continue. Again, I'm going to put it in Navigraph. It's very annoying. Again, the game does not do a good job of actually doing IFR flight planning. So it's kind of obnoxious that I have to then use third-party stuff to find what airways we're actually on. So it's a little bit of a nuisance, but it is kind of what it is, I guess. All right, so let's continue here. All right, so APU's up. Let's go ahead, check AC, DC. Hydraulics are good, and we'll put on 3A. 3A is good. Pressure is good. All right, that's good. All right, back to status page here. Let's start. I actually want realistic IRS timing. I wish I didn't have to reset this every time I go in here. It would be nice if it would remember my last settings, but it doesn't. So IRS. All right, and then let's go ahead to performance tab real quick. We'll do a full boat. All right, that's good. I'll set all my V speeds now. I always forget. And then let's go ahead and we'll start doing position initialization. So we're at LaGuardia. And we're going to go ahead and grab the GPS. Put GPS in there. All right, we'll go ahead and LaGuardia again. TYS for Tyson down in Knoxville. Let's see. Flight number again is 4983. All right, that looks good there. All right, so let's go ahead. Departure arrival. I'll execute it first. All right, I'm going to be doing LaGuardia 7, so I'm not going to put anything in. Runway 4. All right, and now what I want to do is I need to go through this and see where we actually are on the airway. It's likely we're using airways, and again, the game does a terrible job at flight planning. So it's LaGuardia to Hulk to whatever that word is, Pequot, and then Fanpo. It won't let me zoom out anymore. Okay, so let's look on Navigraph and actually plan it out that way. All right, so let's again look what's our first. It's Hulk, H-U-L-K-K. All right. Hulk right there. All right, there's Hulk. And then, let's see, what's the next one after that? So, PNGWN. PNGWN. Penguin? Penguin? Add after Hulk. Yep, that's correct. All right. Should just be able to put a couple of these in. All right, next thing is Fanpo, Malls, Feeds. All right, so that's likely the airway. So let's look for that. Fanpo right here. Fanpo's right here. So that's the, looks where we get, and then Malls is the next one. So it'll be to Montebello. So Fanpo. How did I spell it wrong? F-A-N-P-O. F-A-N. Maybe it's not an O. Fanpo, right there. Okay. Okay, it looks like this is the airway we must be on. So I think we're going, let me look. I think it's Malls. I wasn't sure if it was Montebello or Malls. Looks like Malls. Yep, Malls feeds Yikut, Aline, all the way to Ojes. All right, so down to Ojes. So if we look at the actual chart, let's see. So we're looking for Ojet on this. Ojes right here. Okay, so it's going to be This is our airway, so it's Q40, which is a GPS route. So we can go from Fanpo down to OGS. All right. So let's go in the go back to flight plan. All right, let's see. Go to legs here real quick. So Fanpo. All right, Fanpo, go back to flight plan. So we get direct Fanpo, and then we want to go to, we'll do Q40. All right, and then that's to OGS. All right, OGS in there. So that will give us all the intermediary legs. So what that's saving me from having to do here is put in a lean, yai, cut feeds, malls, Fanpo. Fanpo's already in. But that's the beginning of the airway right there. All right, so if we go ahead and we look at that, go back to legs here, you can see malls, feeds, yai, cut, Eileen, and OGS are all in there. At that point, we're going to step off the airway for vectors for the approach. There's no arrivals in there, so it's going to be vectors. So from OGS, we're pretty much going right in for the RNAV, so we can go ahead and set that in. So departure arrival again, and then we're going to be going into, what did I put in there? RNAV 5 right. And then let's go ahead, put it into gross. Execute. That just gives us all the legs. And then let's go ahead through the legs, make sure we don't have any discontinuities. We will, right there. And I'm actually going to leave it as a discontinuity because they're going to have to give us vectors at that point. So we'll just leave it as a discontinuity, and that will remind us to fix it. So let's go continue on here. So flight plan, perf init, we need to put in 78 packs. 1075, I believe, was a standard cargo load, whatever it defaults to. I don't bother changing it. Let's see, we've got 11,835. All right, and then cruising altitude is going to be flight level 340. All right, that's all in there. VNAV, we can just step through. We're not going to worry about that. All right, and then let's go and we'll change some of that just for looks. Flight plan, that looks good. Make sure we have runway 4 in there. We do legs. Flight plan, copy the active, and then back to legs page there. All right, we're all set there. Let's go ahead and I'll do a couple quick checks here. There's my stall test, first flight of the day. We'll go ahead and we'll turn on the PAX recirc fan. Go ahead, we'll do, oh, stop that. Not what I'm clicking here, guy. Do a quick ice test. Okay. Go ahead and we'll put on windshield heat to low and probes on. We'll go ahead and put seatbelt and no smoking signs. Nope, that's the wrong one. Seatbelts, no smoking signs. Arm the emergency lights there. And I should have done a fire test before the APU, but we'll do that. That looks good. We'll do a quick lamp test. Make sure I have the right one here. There's lamp test. So lamp test puts on all your lamps. You have multiple bulbs in them, so if one burns out, you can still see what's going on there. All right, that looks good. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to configure this FMS here real quick. All right, that's good. All right, let's listen to some ATIS. The IRS is still aligning, so we can't leave anyway.
Information Kilo 1400 Zulu. Wind 00 tree at 4. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 16.
How's it going there, Walter? Good to see you.
2.10.
Wow.
Altimeter tree
3053. That's really high.
Landing and departing runway 4.
That's a lot of spin in there.
VFR aircraft.
All right, IRS just aligned.
All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact UF Kilo.
Kilo.
LaGuardia Airport information Kilo 1400 Zulu.
That's a lot of spinning to get to
Wind
5-3,
00
I'm telling you.
4.
Much faster IRL to do it.
10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 16. 2.10. Altimeter tree 0.53. ILS runway 4 in use. landing and departing runway 4. VFR aircraft say to...
Clearance delivery Endeavour 49er83 IFR to Knoxville, ready to copy.
Endeavour 49er83 is cleared to Knoxville Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 4, climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Departure frequency is 120.4 squawk 7532.
7532, put that in there.
Endeavour
Copy it into
49er83
the other
cleared to
transponder
Knoxville
as
Airport
well.
as filed. Takeoff runway 4 climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Departure on 120.4 squawk 7532.
Endeavour 49er83 read that correct. Contact ground on 127.675. Good day.
Alright, so let's quickly go through origination checks. Oxygen mass checked, audio warning panel is checked, electrical power panel checked, fire detection, fire monitor check, test, external lights checked, fuel panel checked, APU panel checked. I'm just going to go through them. Start panel, hydraulic panel, ELT, passenger, cabin pressure panel, air conditioning panel, anti-ice panel, windshield heat, emergency lights, standby compass, nose wheel steering, clocks, instrument upper pedestal, lower, avionics, trim, yaw damper, and source select. Alright, that's all complete. Let's go ahead and run the boost pumps right now. Passenger signs are on. Land elevation is 3053 and within 75 feet of field elevation. FMS is checked and set. IRS is aligned and nav. Radios and nav aids are set. Takeoff briefing. We're going to be taking off at runway 4, 7,002 feet of runway. Any emergencies before 80 knots will stop on the runway. Any emergencies after any emergencies before V1 we'll just stop for critical events. And then after V1, we'll go ahead and we'll take it in the air, and we'll plan probably for, looks like, left or right traffic, whatever ATC determines to be best for runway 4 or any other available runways. Any questions? Nope, of course they're not. Takeoff briefing's complete. All right, that's good. Let me just put in the departure, so I just have them here. So we'll select runway 4. It's just LaGuardia 7, so I'm not going to worry about LaGuardia 7, as it really doesn't do much of anything. It's just a essentially runway heading, and then they turn you. All right, and then I'm just going to quickly pick 5 right, and then approach. We'll do what is RNAV 5 right. I'm just putting these in, so I have them already in there. RNAV, where the hell is the RNAV 5 right? I'm not seeing the RNAV 5 right. Very interesting. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. From Gross. All right, good. We're all set there. This way I can have my airport diagram at hand when I need it. All right, so that's good. All right, we're ready to close up doors here. So let's go ahead to the doors page. Tell the flight attendant close it up. They would close it up. And then as you see, we're all closed up.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome
Ground
aboard
Endeavour
this flight.
49er83 requesting pushback.
Before takeoff, we would like to
Endeavour
encourage all
49er83
passengers to watch
pushback
their
request
cabin
accepted.
display the safety features
All right,
of the
hydraulics are
aircraft.
going auto. All right, beacon's coming on. Waving to the guy, seeing if we can start an engine. He says yes. We're going to 4. We'll just start one engine. Start the other one on the taxi out. I'm going to go ahead, track air on. All right, there we go. There's 20%. Flaps. Alright, yaw damper. Alright, one's up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as we display the safety features and procedures of the aircraft in case of an emergency.
AC.
During an emergency,
DC.
please remain in your
Hydraulics
seats with
are
your
good.
seatbelts fastened and your
Flight
seats in the
controls,
upright
and
position.
we'll get him to
Brickyard
stop us.
4425, heavy request taxi to the gate. Brickyard 4425, heavy taxi to gate 53 using taxiway Golf Bravo Lima Alpha.
Of the aircraft, The walkway emergency lights will display
Ground
to the
Endeavour
exit,
49er 8 tree
located
requesting
here.
the end of pushback.
In case of an
Endeavour
extreme
49er
emergency
8 tree
light,
request to
you'll be
end
instructed
pushback
to get into
received.
the brace position, which is executed by placing your head
All right, we'll
between
check
your
the.
knees with your
Go ahead and
hands
we'll
on your
arm the
hips.
thrust reversers.
We would also like to
Check
remind
the
you
flight
that you should
controls.
turn
Taxi
off all
to gate 53 using
electronic
taxiway Golf Bravo Lima Alpha procured 4
All right, and I'm gonna go to performance. Let's check 6.8 on the trim. Check that. 6.8 on the trim. Flight controls are checked. All right, let's go through the clear start checklist. I should have run through it, but I know it needed. Device for off. APU is on. Electrics checked. Takeoff data is set. Doors closed. Lock beacons on. Fuel pumps quantities are checked and on. Hydraulic pumps auto on. Parking brake is off. App start. Generators auto. I'm not gonna bother looking at them. I already looked at them. Generators are auto, electrics are checked, bleed valves are auto, packs are on. APU is going to stay on until we get number 2 start. Anti-ice is off. Nose wheel steering is now armed. Taxi. Oh, I already did that. All right, taxi. Let's call for taxi, and then I'll run through the list.
Ground Endeavour 49er 8 tree with Kilo ready
All right,
to
flight
taxi
controls are green,
IFR.
correct. Trims are 6.8, and then the green thrust reverser arm flight instrument check. Brake temperature is checked.
runway 4 using taxiway Zulu Bravo Mike Cross runway tree 1 Juliet Bravo.
What?
Contact tower on 118.7
Why would I cross?
when ready.
Why would I cross there? What?
Taxiing hold short runway for via taxiway Zulu Bravo Mike Cross runway tree 1
Why would I
Juliet Bravo
cross
Endeavour
through
49er
1?
8 tree.
Taking off runway 4. What are they on about? Are they trying to send me to the other side of runway 4? On what planet? This game makes no sense half the time. I'll show you the taxi diagram and what they're... This is silliness. I don't know what their deal is. So we are... here, let me see. Scroll this. We're right here, as you can see. We're going to go up here, we're going to go down Bravo, and we're going to go all the way down to runway 4, right there. I don't know why you would clear me to cross the runway to get to the other side. It doesn't make any sense. So the game's got its head in its ass. So we're not going to do that. We're going to actually go where we should be going. Sometimes the game's pretty daffy. All right. All right, so we're taxiing out on one engine, save a little bit of fuel here. All right, taking off from runway 4. Runway heading is 044. So look, we're already 7's pretty much runway heading and then on course.
JetBlue 271 tree heavy hold position caution other traffic.
Yeah, I see him taxiing in front of us here. This is why there's 2 of you, is like one person could be spinning stuff and the other person's taxiing. So generally captain taxis, they have the tiller, and you know, so when you're on the ground, the first officer is running the radios, checklists, anything that needs to be spin or done, they're often doing that. That way, for example, like the cap might start engine 1, depending on the company, but cap might start engine 1, and then if you're taxiing out on one engine, engine 2 needs to be started. If you're doing it while you're taxiing, they're likely not touching anything because they need to focus on taxiing the aircraft. So.
JetBlue 1371 heavy taxi to and hold short of runway 4 using taxiway Zulu Bravo. Contact tower on 118.7 when ready.
I still don't get what this is some silly... See, like, we probably should be on Bravo too, but it's like, I'm following this guy, so...
Taxi to and hold short runway.
Because we're going to get in a situation where we have 2 people in the same taxiway. It's not helpful, so... Yeah, see, Zulu Bravo Mike... See, that makes... Why would... The other thing, too, is the game has a lot of these taxiways are not the right labels. Like, I should be on Bravo, but they're running... I get this Airbus in front of me, I might as well follow them. So, yeah, I don't get why he would have us cross. First of all, I'm looking for Mike. Where's Mike? Mike doesn't sound right. Okay, there's Mike. Cross 3-1. What? No. It doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no crossing 3-1. It just, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of the game's AI not knowing what it's doing, which... in our AI futures.
Ground Endeavour 5249er with Kilo ready to taxi IFR. Endeavour 5249er taxi to and hold short of runway 4 via taxiway Zulu Bravo. Contact tower on 118.7 when ready.
Yeah, so it should have been Zulu Bravo to 4 is essentially the whole
Taxi to and hold
instruction.
short runway 4 using taxiway Zulu Bravo.
Now, Bravo's
Endeavour
off to a right
5249er.
here, but I don't want to get into it with this Airbus, so we'll stay over here on Alpha. This is Alpha. Remember, you know, it's been a lot of years since I last was in LaGuardia, but you know, they used to, I think, Alpha was heading southbound, and Bravo is essentially heading northbound, and they'd run them as one-ways, essentially. You can see the city over there in Manhattan. Alright, so we're going to spin 2. We need a minute. We'll have no problem. So, like, right now, the captain would just be taxiing. They would also be monitoring the engine start to make sure that the, you know, that we don't get a hunk start. It's always best to have 2 eyes on it. Why is this person stopping? Oh, there's a car in the way. I'm just trying to watch the engine start here. They got a car in the way here, just sitting there. So, IRL, airplanes always have the right of way. Cars just wait for you. I gotta get this engine started anyway, so... Alright, engine's up, so we're gonna start our timer. There's our timer going. All right, we're going to go to AC, DC. Hydraulics. We're good. All right, so that means APU can come off. APU's off, and doors closed. And he disappeared, which is good. All right, so we got 2 good engine starts there, so I'm going to go, and we're good there. All right, so one thing we should notice is top message there on the ICAS is TO config OK. So that is telling us that the flaps are in the correct positions, the brakes are off, both engines are running, everything is configured for
Ground Air
takeoff.
Canada 730 Heavy request taxi to the gate. Air Canada 730 Heavy taxi to gate 27 using taxiway Golf Bravo Golf Alpha.
All right, we got one. You can see this guy coming in on final for runway 4.
Air Canada 730 Heavy, hold position, caution other traffic.
All right, we'll switch over to tower. So I'm not in too much of a rush because he's not going to let us go before him. I will call ready so that he can hopefully might give us position hold.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
Like, we could rush up there all we wanted, and he was not going to let us go before this guy comes in, so there's no point to rush it. Just putting wear and tearing the brakes. That's it. All right, we're going to set the brake. And I'll call. Sometimes people wait till after the plane's landed, but because they have to. So you're gonna tell you're ready for takeoff. They're gonna tell you to hold short. You then have to read back hold short. So there's 3 comms you don't necessarily need to make, but he's also gonna give it to us until this guy clears the runway. So I'd rather tell him that we're ready, and he can call us when he needs to.
Endeavour 49er A-tree, hold short runway 4. Traffic is Airbus A20N on final.
Hold short runway for Endeavour 49er 83.
We knew that was coming, but like even if this Airbus lands, we're gonna get a hold short until he's ready to put us out there. Like now that he knows we're ready, he might position and hold us behind. So that's why I do that. Let him know we're ready. Go ahead and shut the cross flow off now.
Brickyard 5660 heavy exit runway when
Alright,
able.
he's telling him to exit.
Brickyard 5660 heavy contact ground on 127.675. Endeavor 49er 8 tree altimeter tree 0.53 when 00 tree at 4. Cleared for takeoff runway 4.
Clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff runway for Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
Lights and strobes are set. Fuel cross flow is to manual. Flight attendants advised. Transponder is on. Radar is off. CAS is checked before takeoff checklist complete. So that final CAS check there is to make sure that we have a takeoff config okay and no issues. Thrust set. You can see we have a left crosswind, so I'm going to put in some crosswind correction. Airspeed's alive.
Tower Air Canada 704
80
heavy
knots.
9er miles southwest inbound ILS runway 4 approach. Air Canada 704 heavy tower. Altimeter tree 0.53 when 00 tree at 4.
V1.
Cleared ILS runway
Rotate.
4 approach.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Cleared ILS runway 4
Select
approach Air Canada
speed
704
and heavy.
heavy.
So that puts it on the flight. I forgot to press toga. But that puts us on, the flight director is now where I want it. Speed 200.
Endeavor 49er 8 tree contact New York departure on 120.4. Good day.
120 decimal for Endeavor 49er 8 tree. Goodbye.
Should be able to turn on course now.
Air
New York departure Endeavor 49er 8 tree is passing 1,300 feet, climbing 7,000 feet.
Endeavor 49er 8 tree New York departure altimeter tree 0.53 radar contact continue.
Drop the nose a little bit here. Going to nav. Start my turn a little early. Alright, flaps can come up. I'm still hand flying here. I would not be touching all these switches if I was hand flying. Not be doing any of this stuff. That can all stay. Alright, autopilot's coming up. I turned this a little early. You'd wait so you're not going over Manhattan, but I kind of...
Endeavor 49er 8 tree climb and maintain flight level 210.
210. It's early. So,
Climb and maintain flight level 210.
I have to look at
Endeavor
LaGuardia
49er
7.
8
It's not
tree.
showing on my charts here. I don't know if the game still has and they're not doing it anymore or what. So 210, I gotta spin that all the way in. But I kind of want to go over Manhattan and take a look at it. Alright, 210. Alright, track air is coming back
Endeavor
off.
49er 8 tree contact New York Center on 121.125.
21 1 and a quarter. See ya.
Good day.
121 decimal 125 Endeavor 49er 8 tree. Goodbye. New York Center Endeavor 49er 8 tree is at 8,200 feet, climbing flight level 210.
Endeavor 49er 8 tree New York Center altimeter tree 0.53 radar contact continue to HULKK.
Why do I not have Hulk in here? Huh. Let me look, see why Hulk's not in here. Yeah, let me see what's up with this. Yeah, I didn't have Hulk in there. Let me fix that. There we go. That fixed that. Alright. So that's probably when we get our turn. I just wanted to go over Manhattan here, so that's why I turned this early. They usually don't fly you over Manhattan like that. There's JFK right there. Almost see LaGuardia right down there. All right, let's run the climb checklist here. Fuel cross flow is back to auto. Bleeds and APU are set and off. Thrust reversers are off. CAS is checked.
Endeavor 49er A3, contact New York Center on 118.975.
118.975. That gave me yaw damper 1 and off. I just turned it on. 2 was on, so it's fine. I'm going to go into cruise, or climb rather. Climb checklist complete.
New York Center Endeavor 49er 83 is passing 13,700 feet, climbing flight level 210.
Endeavor 49er A3, New York Center altimeter 30.54 radar contact. Continue to HULKK.
Hello, Taffy. How are you? Did I hear Mike Shot Flightsim 2024 is going to have shared cockpit support? I did not hear that, but that's going to be cool. Yeah, so you can have another player as a first officer or a captain. Very nice. Well, that's good. Yeah. Let's drop the nose here a little bit. Speed up. So there's usually a lot of shipping coming in here into the ports of New York and New Jersey. And so like we used to fly up here, up the ocean, and then you'd turn in. We'd go to the Statue of Liberty, go to the tanks, go over the expressway, come around Shea Stadium, and come and land on 3-1 in LaGuardia. That was the expressway visual. They got rid of a lot of those visuals because the GPS systems are good now, and you can just run them as RNAVs, so that's what they're doing now. No, this is one I bought. This is the CRJ 900. The issue with a lot of the, they have the A310 is the only one that's kind of what they call study level, where, like, if you were gonna go get a type rating on an airplane, you could use something to this level to learn. Like, it's not exactly perfect, but you could learn a lot of the systems. And a lot of the stuff works the same way it would. So a lot of the stuff, they really kind of focus, I think, a lot on the arcade crowd for flight sim. And so, like, you have to buy planes if you want them actually to be, like, full fidelity. And all the buttons and all the switches work the way they're supposed to.
Goodbye.
So I could see people who, kind of don't have any self-control, having issues buying tons and tons of airplanes, but like, I just buy the one I wanted here, and I've got 2 planes.
Climb and maintain flight level 280.
280.
Delta 2764 heavy traffic is 3 o'clock 4 miles.
The big thing I want them to fix is just make ATC better.
Report them in sight.
I want them to have it so that the airports have the appropriate taxiway designations and that are laid out correctly. Like LaGuardia got a big update as far in real life as far as new terminals. I'd like to see that.
Report them in sight.
It's not. This is not an add-on by the devs. This is by Aerosoft. It's a different company.
127.6. Good day.
So, the purchasable add-on by a different third-party company.
Heavy have the traffic. New York Center Brickyard 559er2 Heavy is passing 8,100 feet, climbing flight level 230.
Yeah, for a lot of people, like,
764 Heavy, you are 41 miles
as much as I could be a purist and a pain in the ass and be like, flight sim's supposed to be flight sim, and, at the end of the day, we need these arcade players who come in and just, like, fart around an airplane for 5 minutes to support the game, so that those of us who want to play, more realistically can. And so, I kind of understand why they do this. And, like, again, this plane was like $70, and this is going to be the main plane I fly. And so I also have other reasons for buying this particular plane, but it's
Delta 102
I don't think that's
Niner
unreasonable.
Heavy
That's why like
contact
people
Washington
complain
Center
about
on
store mark stuff
124.775.
like a $10 DLC. This plane cost me 60, about 70 bucks. You know, Navigraph cost me $10 a month. You know, so it's like it's not ridiculous to have a $10 DLC. You know.
Going to 124.775 Delta 102.
You know, because if you think of this level of plane here needs to be updated all the time, like it's its own game. And so you can imagine why Aerosoft can ask that people will pay it, is they need to do updates on it all the time. You know, and then if they have real CRJ pilots tell them, hey, you know, this is not right, they'll go back and fix it.
498 contact Washington Center on 124.775.
24.775.
Going to 124.775 Endeavor 498
127.3 Brickyard 559er 2 Heavy.
Washington Center Endeavor 498 is passing flight level 255 climbing flight level 280.
Endeavor 4983 Washington Center radar contact. Continue to HULKK.
11 got made it to Hulk yet.
Endeavor 4983 climb and maintain flight level 340.
Climb and maintain flight level 340 Endeavor
the final.
4983.
340. This gets screwed up. I'm looking at my flight plan here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Knoxville's a cool city. Let me see if we can get some pictures of Knoxville. That was one of my favorite overnights I did when I was at the airlines, was Knoxville. Like, it's a really cool city. Let me see if I can bring it up. So, like, our hotel was, so this is where the World's Fair was, so that was left over. Usually, like, the World's Fair would leave certain of these structures to kind of, like, for historical reasons. And so this was one of them right here, this big glass orb. And this white hotel here is where we stayed. And it was a really cool walk-in city. Like, this is what it looks like, the downtown. It has rivers and this bridge here. There are two bridges. I'll get pictures in a second, but there's two bridges here, and so like that's where my hotel was. And I walked all over the city and walked down here, and I walked all the way on the other side, and then came back up the other bridge. You can see where the road is that goes to the bridge. So like I walked all around here, had breakfast, came down here, walked down this bridge, walked all around, came back up the other bridge. So it's a really cool city. Here's more pictures. Like that's where our hotel was. I believe that was it right here. It was like right in front of the thingy here. Had some cool art in the streets. Here you can see the bridges. So like here's one bridge going across, and then you walk on this side and you come back to this bridge. Kind of neat. There's the bridge, one of the bridges there, and you can see like it's a good drop off from the bridges.
Endeavor 4983 traffic is 10 o'clock 4
That's
miles
actually
at
somewhere
flight
different.
level 330 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight.
What clock was it? 4.
American 1149er heavy traffic is 9 o'clock
9
3
o'clock.
miles at flight level 315.
There it is.
Report them in sight.
Endeavor 4983 have the Airbus A20N in sight.
American 1149er heavy traffic in sight.
Yeah, see if I can get some more pics of Knoxville. Yeah, but Knoxville's a really cool town. Like this is, that's what it looks like. So you can see really just a neat, pretty town. Kind of the downtown area. I didn't like the restaurant that I went to, but I also got something that like, it was just frozen and they
Delta
probably didn't sell a lot of them.
1029er heavy contact
See
Washington
if I can
Center
find
on
a map of the bridges.
132.525. Good day. Washington Center Brickyard 469er tree heavy is at 16,400 feet climbing flight level 210.
A pretty cool town.
Brickyard 469er tree heavy Washington Center altimeter tree 0.55 radar contact continue. Endeavor 49er 8 tree traffic is 11 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 350 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight.
Where? There is.
JetBlue 1806 heavy traffic is 11 o'clock 1 miles at flight level 330. Report them in sight.
He's so late on traffic, they're already behind me.
Have the Airbus A20N in sight.
JetBlue 1806 heavy
There,
have
yeah,
the
this
inside.
is where I think it was here.
132.525 Delta 1029
Yeah, but like the drop from the
heavy.
bridges is pretty high, so like I remember I would stand on the bridges for a while and kind of looking down at the fish, and so it was kind of cool just hanging out on the bridges. That is 330 for 340. Yes, that's cool. That is a good thing that all the third-party planes will port over. That's usually what they try to do, because like you can imagine, I wouldn't buy 2024 if I had to re-buy this. You know, it's not going to happen. You know. Yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to the improvements in ATC. I haven't been following too much about it. You know, I just wait till it comes out. But you know, it's ATC is the main thing that aggravates me. It's just like
49er 8 tree contact Washington Center on 132.525. Good day.
you know when you know when you kind of know something
132.525
about something and
Endeavour
then
49er 8 tree.
they get it wrong, it annoys you
Goodbye.
more than somebody who like doesn't really know that stuff. So it's kind of like that's why it innately kind of annoys me. And it's a lot of it too is it's like you try. One of the things that I used to use Flightsim for all the time was actually learning how to do instrument flying.
Washington Center, Endeavor 49er
And
8
when
tree
the
flight level
game makes
340.
mistakes, if you're using it to help learn
Endeavour
things
49er
or
8
practice
tree Washington
things,
Center, radar
like I'm doing a lot of
contact
practice
continue
now,
to
just
BWN.
practicing instrument approaches, and it gets it wrong, it's frustrating because it's like you're actively trying to practice something and it's wrong. And like if you go to an airport and the taxiways are labeled differently in game than they really should be, it's annoying because it's like, you know, now you thought that was going to be Alpha Taxiway. No, it's Mike. And it's like, how did they get that wrong? You know, should be able to just look it up. But again, they're probably using AI to just look all this shit up, and then it's just bad, you know. So likely with at this altitude, climb power setting, we're not going to overspeed.
Lindbergh
Kinda leave it.
4408 contact Washington Center on 124.775.
Slowly accelerate here. You know,
Good day.
I will probably hit around 8.2 at most. Probably stick somewhere around here. We're probably going to kind of stall out around maybe 8.18. All right, let the people up. You know, they got a lot of gimmicky stuff coming in the new Flightsim, but, you know, again, they're trying to attract enough audience to make money. And that's where a lot of people, like, you know, at Stormworks kind of get prickly that I don't understand. Like, you know, for example, they'll give shit to the people who are, like, who just use the workshop and were like, you know, I don't say it to disparage it, but like Komodo and all those guys who do, like, the, you know, crack and sinking ship, like, that makes it so that somebody who wants to play for 20 minutes can just load something up. It allows a younger audience to play the game who will never get into the actual engineering element. And their dollars help support the game for those of us who like to engineer and build, because it's hard to keep a game alive that only appeals to a very small audience. So the same thing's happening with Flightsim, is they're trying to make it so that, you know, you can get enough people. That's why they have, like, they put in animals that you can go take safari pictures of and stuff. So it's like, you know, people who, like, don't necessarily want to play it as a super ultra realistic flight sim can do that. And you know, those people's dollars make the game, you know, doable for those of us who do want it as a more realistic flight sim, you know. Hopefully Derail Valley, I think next month their update's coming out, their big update. They've been pretty much, I wouldn't say radio silent, but they've been pretty quiet for the since last March. But it's going to be a very big update, which, you know, especially if they're changing large things about the game, for example, like where the rail lines are, which I don't know that they're doing that, but if they were doing that, you'd figure, like, you don't want a weekly or a monthly update that means you need a new save all the time. And so sometimes doing those longer update sprees, that's like kind of like Tarkov. Tarkov had a very long wipe, and they made big changes, and so you lose all your progress, but to a certain extent, like, that's what people want in Tarkov. Like, Tarkov gets friggin' boring when you have no, like, goals to work for, and you like right now, I want to make sure that I level up my metabolism. You know, something that mundane, just so that I don't have to drink as much in Raid. And so you find you get to a certain point, it's boring. And so sometimes having those wipes, having to start over new saves is nice. It's like I was getting bored doing the career build series because I had everything I wanted. And I'm like, well, what do I do next? Well, I have a big ship. I'm not building another big ship that takes hundreds and hundreds of hours. And I have helicopters, and I have this. And do I just make another helicopter for the sake of making another helicopter? And then you start a new build series where you're starting from the beginning, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to make a new rescue boat, a new starter boat. And then you're like, oh, well, you know what? I kind of want a new helicopter. And then you make the new helicopter, and kind of that starting over can be good sometimes. Exactly. Like CG's comment, to be honest, Stormworks wouldn't exist if people like Komodo didn't buy the game. Exactly, and that's why I think it's very short-sighted. Like, I saw on Reddit the other day, people shitting on them, and it's like, I don't enjoy their content. I don't like the way they play. A lot of the players they brought into the game do not play like me, but that's not a bad thing. You know, they paid for the game. They're not going to get the full potential out of the game because they're going to go sink ships, and at times, can they be annoying where they're like, where they think the game is something it's not? You know, yeah. But, again, they're also paying and making sure the game stays alive. So, I'm glad they're here, you know? And I think it's selfish, you know, when people are just like, oh, those people suck, I wish they'd go away. Well, yes, you know, the only people I want to go away from the Stormers community are the people who don't even play the game and just bitch all the time. You know, it's literally like, if you're not going to play the game, just go do something else. Go find a game you like, you know. Those are the only people I wish would just disappear, because, like, you look and you can look on their Steam profile and they haven't played the game in 4 months. And they want all these changes done for them, but they don't even play the game. So why would they make all these changes for people who don't even play the game, you know? You know. It's been confirmed that the DVB-99 will have extra industries, cargo, steam improvements, and be a bit more stuff. I don't know what you mean. Is that for derail?
Endeavor 49er 8 tree, contact Washington Center on 132.55.
3255, sir.
Going to 132.55 Endeavor 49er 8 tree. Washington Center Endeavor 49er 8 tree, flight level 340.
So the other thing that's
Endeavor
interesting.
49er 8 tree, Washington Center, radar contact, continue.
Grab a US map real quick. So this is interesting too, is you got to kind of account for the tilt of the Earth too. I'm trying to get just a picture here. That's not a very good, actually it's not bad actually, that'll work. All right, so if you look at this picture of the U.S., actually, I'm going to put it in paint. That way I can draw on it. Work the thumbnail too at some point. So you look at this picture of the U.S., right? We left from New York City. And we're going to Kentucky. So Knoxville right here. And it's from right there was LaGuardia. Let's go up to like 15 on that. All right, so that's our route, right? So what would you say that is? So now, at first, people are like, you know, take up like a quick, make a quick compass rose here with just some lines. But, you know, like if you were to guess, you would probably guess that, okay, well, this is north, right? And this is south, right? And that's east. And that's, this is east, that's west. And so, so you'd think that was it, right? It's not. All right, so if you looked at this, right, so that's about almost a 45-degree angle, right, between south, which is 180, and 270, which is west, right? So you'd think it was 90 degrees off of 180. No, not 90 degrees, I'm sorry, 45 degrees off 180, so a 225, right? So you'd think that's about a 225, right? Let's look at what it is. So this is a little bit, we'll get a little bit, actually, we're a little bit actually more to the south on this course, but we're pretty much a straight line. Look at the heading. All right, so right here, the heading, let's bring the bug in. We'll get it to show us exactly where it is. 250. All right, so it's actually the actual map is more like this than people think. The map's actually more like this than people think. So you're pretty much going from New York and you're almost going, you know, it's close to west. You know, west would be more like this. So I thought that was interesting when I would do some of those flights. And you look, and it's almost a direct west, and you know, you think of that as this is pretty far south, but you're actually heading mostly west on that course. Which is kind of neat. Make the thumbnail. What happened to the music? Were we just in a dead zone in the music? I think it's just dead songs. There it goes. Alright. Music went dead on me. So, those who might have been watching my Arctic ship, I forgot to put a layer in, so now I have to redo all of my stuff that I did. It's annoying. So if you've been watching me build the Arctic Explorer there, That's released. Alistair's challenge wrapped up last night, so he's making the videos on that. And make sure you go watch those videos when Alistair puts those out. Especially, you know, as somebody who did a lot of challenges, those videos are a lot of work. You know, so make sure you go watch those videos of his and everything. It's one of the reasons I stopped doing them. Is they're just like literally it would take me 18 hours to do some of these videos, and you get some people grouching and complaining about them. It was very annoying when somebody would get grouchy or complain about the video that took you 18 hours to make. And, you know, might do it some point in the future to a lesser degree. I was thinking like snap challenges or something, but, you know.
Endeavor 49er contact Washington Center on 120.65.
120.65, sure.
120.65 Endeavor 49er Goodbye. Washington Center Endeavor 49er flight level 340.
Endeavor 49er Washington Center radar contact continue.
Yeah, so it was a good challenge of Alistair's. I enjoy working on it. Yay, we got a thumbnail. Very nice. You got some the spelling errors in Euro Truck Sim. Euro Truck Sim's pretty old right now. I used to play Euro Truck. I've got American Truck Sim, but I'd like to do some East Coast stuff, and they don't have any of the East Coast maps out yet, and they probably won't get to them for another 450 years, so kind of takes out some of my desire to play it. Be cool to do at some point. You know, that's another game that, like, so one thing that I am thrilled about with the new Flight Sim is the ability to get out of the plane and walk around. You know, part of the thing, too, is, like, you lose the scale of stuff, and the scale is what makes some of this cool. So, like, the ability to walk around the airplane, I think, is a cool feature. Just seeing the general scale of it is important. You know, that really makes you kind of feel how big something is, and you know, just being stuck in the cockpit. I think that was an issue with, for example, Elite Dangerous, not being able to get in and out of the craft. Like, it didn't matter if you had an enormous ship because you never got to actually experience it, you know. And so I think that's important. That's one thing that's definitely missing with the truck driving game. Somebody who did that professionally, you know, walking around is one of the things that kind of, you know, ties you into it. And so just being stuck in the cockpit, I think, is problematic for the truck driving games. And so one thing, like, if I was going to make my own truck sim, what I would do is, you know, I'd make it, I think, when they did the trucks and trailers, which is part of the whole Euro Truck thing, that's when they really got really accurate trailer movement behavior. So you could actually, like, back in and do... you know, the maneuvers felt like they were realistic. That was really a good step in the right direction. But, like, one thing I would love to see them do is, like, so you take Euro Truck, American Truck, make it so you can walk around. And then one of the things with that is you should do a pre-trip inspection. So walking around, looking for flat tires, looking for leaks, stuff like that, like you would really do. So have it kind of almost like in Stormworks where you look at something, you do page up, it gives you tool tips. You're able to, like, for example, we used to kick the tires to see if they were underinflated, because like I could tell if a tire was underinflated by just tapping it with my hammer. And so you'd go get air in your tire, you get a tire replaced. Checking for leaks, checking for broken things. So for example, like you put a random number generator where there's a X% chance that this tire is going to be low on air or flat. And so as you go through and you do your pre-trip, I find that I have a flat tire. So now you have to get that tire changed. And so it would be, of course, you know, the ability to put in whatever I want. You'd have the ability to actually change the tire, which I think would be really cool with those games, because like driving from point A to point B can be kind of boring, but when you get to point B and then I have to change the tire out, you change out a tire, that gives you something to do, break it up a little bit. The actual getting out of the cab and filling up with oil and filling up with diesel, you know, actually having you have to get out of the cab and, for example, grab the airlines, detach the airlines, grab the light cord, detach the light cord, pull the fifth wheel handle, actually go back there and lower the landing gear. You know, these are all things that would be important. Like, they could put some cool mechanics in there. Say you have a lumber truck and one of the straps is dangling, it's not attached. And you do your pre-trip inspection, you say, oh crap, this strap is not attached. Well, if the strap's not attached, you drive down the road. Eventually, you know, you'll have logs fall off your trailer, you'll get a big fine, and now you have to pay a lot of money for, you know, like I don't think they should really send a crane out to do it, but like, you know, in a Euro truck, American truck context, you just, you know, you pay the fine, the log is back on the trailer, and now you can go again. You know, and now that counts towards your damage. And if you have a lot of loads that are damaged, then people don't trust you, and you don't get as good of loads in the future. You know, so like on your pre-trip, you notice, hey, a strap's disconnected. You reconnect the straps. You just click on it, attach it, tighten it, and then that failure goes away. You know, so I think that would be a good thing to add to like those truck driving games.
Flight level 340.
Endeavor 4983 Washington Center radar contact, continue to FONPA.
You know, so stuff like that. For example, like we used to have to check the registration, the license plates, and you know, insurance on all the trailers. And so you check the registration, you check all that stuff, and if it was missing and you got pulled over, it was a ticket. And you get, you know, and again, you have a commercial driver's license, you get a lot of tickets. You're not going to have a commercial driver's license anymore. And so, like, that would be good in the context of, like, a truck sim, because, like, you go in there and, you know, you go to a yard and you pick up a trailer and there's no registration. Well, you can print it off on the computer. And so it's not a big deal. Like, you call dispatch and you say, hey, I need a copy of the registration, and they send it to your phone in-game. And now you have it, or they print it out for you. And now, you know, for example, like, you don't just get pulled over. If you go into the weigh station, they're going to check all that in the weigh station if you get pulled in. And so, for example, like, that would be... So if you got lazy and decided you didn't want to do your pre-trip, you could get pulled in the weigh station in game and have thousands and thousands of fines. And, you know, now your reputation goes down. I think those are good elements they could add to the game. And then, again, with checkboxes, if you want to shut that stuff off, you can. But that's what I would like to see in those games, is some more depth. All right, let's read some chat. That was interesting.
Endeavor 4983, contact Washington Center on 121.675.
121.675.
Good day.
Sure.
121.675 Endeavor 4983. Goodbye. Washington Center Endeavor 4983 flight level 340.
Endeavor 4983 Washington Center radar contact, continue to MAULS.
MAULS. All right, what do we get time en route here? 41 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and do my briefs. I'm going to go use the facilities. They might kick my my clearance when I go to use the facilities, but that'll be all right. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up display cap. All right, here we go. Oh, I hate it when I rotate it by accident. Ugh. That was actually probably the way to show you guys that, with where the west actually is. So we're coming in here. Let's go ahead. We're no arrival, so we're just doing the RNAV here. So this is the RNAV GPS runway 5 right into Knoxville, Tennessee. You want to check this. So 4th of August 2023. This could be old. Let's see. Final approach course 051. 2,700 at Voyer. DA is 1,159 feet. Airport elevation is 986 feet. We'll make sure we put that in for pressure. So we're talking, let's see, 1286. Let's see where we at here. MSA is 7,900. So we have some reasonably high stuff over here. If the MSA is 7,900. We're going to go to we do have another initial approach fix. What did I put in? Gross. So we have the gross transition. We'll see if they give it to us or not, but we have 3,100 feet at Whoopal, 2,700 Voyer. We expect to get the GPS LPV glide slope there. Then we'll take that glide slope in. Let's see if we. If we are to lose the LPV glide slope, we'll switch it over to an LNAV VNAV of with a MDA of 1,420 feet. That's about it there. Pretty self-explanatory there. Missed approach, climb to 1,500, then climb to 4,000, direct the VXV, VOR, and hold. Continue, climb the hold to 4,000 feet. Likely we'll just get vectors back for another landing on 5 right, but that would be pretty much a straight off the runway heading 1,500 feet. Then we'll go to VXV. Looking at this here, let's see, it's going to be, I'm trying to see which, let's do a teardrop entry, so right 45. So that will be a 101, 101 heading. And then we'll intercept and we'll hold if that was going to be the case. But likely we'll just get vectors back for 5 right. Probably right turn, back 5 right. So one interesting thing with the missed approach procedure here, if you look, climb 1,500. Why are we not making any turns till 1,500? Towers. We have a 1,400-foot tower here. We have a 1,399 tower here. We have a... This one's behind us, but you can see we have some high towers. So by getting you up to going and runway heading to 1,500 feet, it makes sure that you're going to clear the towers. Right, and then you're going to continue up to 4,000.
Endeavor 49er 83, contact Washington Center on 127.925.
127.925. Adios, muchachos.
127.925 Endeavor 49er 83. Goodbye.
Oh, nice. Dad used to drive commercial.
Washington Center Endeavor 49er 83 flight level 340.
Endeavor 49er 83 Washington Center radar contact. Continue to MAULS.
Alright, I'm going to go use the facilities. If they cancel my clearance, I'll just get a new one. Alright, I'll be back, guys.
49er Tree traffic is 12 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 370 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight. Endeavour 49er Tree traffic alert. 12 o'clock less than 1 mile flight level 370 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight. Endeavour 49er Tree, contact Washington Center on 134.4. Good day. Endeavour 49er Tree, please acknowledge. Endeavour 49er Tree, did you copy? Endeavour 49er Tree, acknowledge last transmission. Endeavour 49er Tree IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Washington Center Endeavour 49er Tree is type 4 miles southwest of 79er Victor Golf flight level 340. Request flight following.
Endeavour 49er Tree, Washington Center. Squawk 3354. Endeavour 49er Tree, radar contact 5 miles northwest of Victor Alpha Tree, flight level 340.
Roger, Endeavour 49er Tree. Washington Center Endeavour 49er Tree 5 miles northwest of Victor Alpha 8 request IFR to Knoxville, ready to copy.
Endeavour 49er Tree is cleared to Knoxville Airport as filed. Squawk 3354.
Endeavour 49er Tree cleared to Knoxville Airport as filed. Squawk 3354.
Endeavour 49er Tree, read back correct. Radar contact flight level 340. Turn left heading 070, descend and maintain flight level 340.
Turn left heading 070, descend and maintain flight level 340, Endeavour 49er 8 tree.
Endeavour 49er 8 tree, contact Atlanta Center on 132.9er. Good day. Generic 42 Foxtrot, contact Atlanta Center on 132.9er. Good day. Going to 132.9er, generic 42 Foxtrot.
132.9er, Endeavour 49er 8 tree. Goodbye. Atlanta Center, Endeavour 49er 8 tree, flight level 340.
Endeavour 49er 8 tree, Atlanta Center, radar contact, continue to Yicket. Generic 42 Foxtrot, contact Washington Center on 134.4. Good day. One tree 4.4, generic 42 Foxtrot. Goodbye. 249er A-Tree contact Atlanta Center on 127.85. Good day. Endeavor 49er A-Tree, did you copy?
Going to 127.85 Endeavor 49er 8-3. Atlanta Center Endeavor 49er 8-3 flight level 340.
Endeavor 49er A-Tree Atlanta Center radar contact. Continue to adjust. Atlanta Center American 1460 Heavy is passing flight level tree 5, climbing flight level tree 80. American 1460 Heavy, Atlanta Center radar contact. Continue. Endeavor 49er A-Tree, descend and maintain flight level 260. United 19er Tree 5 heavy traffic is 1 o'clock 4 miles at flight level tree 60 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight.
Descend and maintain flight level 260 Endeavor 49er 8-3.
Alrighty. Get back full.
United 19er Tree 5 heavy, traffic alert.
260.
3 o'clock less than 1 mile, flight level tree 60 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight. Endeavor 49er A-Tree traffic is 10 o'clock 3 miles at flight level tree 40 Airbus A20N. Report them in sight. American 1460 heavy traffic.
Jesus Christ,
3
what is that?
o'clock 2 miles at flight level tree 45.
That's tight.
Report them
What
in
the
sight.
hell is that? Why are we at the same flight level?
Endeavor 49er 8-3 have the Airbus
What?
A20N in sight.
That's no good.
American 1460 heavy traffic in sight. United 19er Tree 5 heavy have the traffic.
That's nuts. That is nuts. You hate to see it. All right, let's get a briefing. I already briefed 5. Let's look at the runway. 5 right, 9,000 feet of runway. Probably looking, I don't know. Alpha 4 or 7. If I really get hard on the brakes, I might be able to make Alpha 4. We'll see. I have to get it pretty hard on the brakes on that. 5's a back taxi, so probably won't do that. See how it develops. Speed. Over Steve, over Steve. Alright, so I talked about this discontinuity and why I'm leaving it in. That discontinuity there is there's no rival, so they should be giving us radar vectors at that point anyway. And so I don't want it turning us where I don't want it. I want their vectors. So, you know, if it runs into that situation, it will put us essentially on a maintain the heading mode, kind of. It doesn't go into full-on heading mode, but it kind of maintains the last heading. It's 270 for 260. I'll be right back again.
Endeavour 49er A-tree, descend and maintain flight level 200.
Alrighty. Alright, capping altitude here.
Endeavour 49er A-tree, acknowledge last transmission.
Descend and maintain flight level 200 Endeavour 49er 8 tree.
Alright, check the old descent checklist. Let's go ahead and put the seatbelt sign back on. Landing elevation I've not set yet, so let's put that in. I'm looking at like 1,300 feet. So I can... Let's see, that is at 1,040. Let's go 3 more on that. 1,400 rather is fine. That would be pressurized at 1,400 feet above 400 feet above landing, so that would be good. Landing elevation is set, fuel is checked, TCAS is set, radar is off, CAS is checked. Landing data is set, approach briefing is complete, descent checklist complete. Up the thrust just a little bit here. Don't need to slow down too much. This is getting into the Appalachian Mountains here. So the Appalachian Mountain Range. Wonder if this is supposed to be the Appalachian Trail right here. I don't know. I do not know. That would be 210 for 200. And then I put in gross. Gross is the transition. Unlikely we get gross. That's probably southern.
49er A-tree, descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
8,000. Unlikely that's the transition we get. We get traffic 12. But by putting that in, it gives me every waypoint, so I don't have to worry about it at that point. All right, there's 8,000. I'm going to start clicking that in, and I'm going to go idle on thrust. Again, we're going to be going below 10. We need 250, so I want to keep a descent rate going. Probably about 2,600 is probably good because I need to get us slowed down as well. We've got 9,000 feet to lose here before I have to be at 250. So a nice slow decel on that, and then I can always pull spoilers as we get closer. But again, you always want to stay ahead of a jet. They're fast. Like our ground speed right now is 388 knots. So you start really eating up ground fast, and if you're behind the airplane, you're gonna have problems. I got to check on. Speaking of being ahead of the airplane, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look at the airport because again, if they give you an altitude below 180, they should be giving you an altimeter setting. 3055. So high pressure all over the town here. Have a high pressure system go through. 3055. Again, required by law with 121 airlines, you have to have 3 attitude indicators. It's all for safety. So the FO's attitude indicator is on a whole separate system. It's on a different computer, so it's on its own computer. And then the captain's is on its own computer, and then the last one's on its own computer, and that makes it so that you'd have to lose 3 computers to lose your attitude indicator. So the likelihood of that's pretty slim.
Endeavour 49er A-Tree, contact Atlanta Center on 127.55. Good day.
127.55 Endeavour 49er 8-tree. Goodbye. Atlanta Center Endeavour.
Alright, so we have
49er
about
8-tree
6,000
is
feet
at
to go. We
16,000
need to lose
feet,
another
descending
20
8,000
knots.
feet.
We are gently losing speed here, but not as fast as I'd like. Pick the nose up just a hair.
Radar contact. Continue to adjust.
You know, we have 60 miles once we pass OGS out to Gross. We're probably not going to go all the way out to Gross, but again, we have 60 miles, so keeping that in mind, I don't need to decelerate super duper fast. Little IMC here, we log that. Nice mountains out here. You can see we have a tall Johnny over there. Do I have terrain on? Oh, but let's put in approach speeds there. All right, we're in terrain mode. So as we get closer down the mountain, you can see this one's pretty tall there. It was on the chart. Those mountains were on the chart when I showed the RNAV earlier. I'll bring it up real fast here. You can see these are the mountains right there. We're coming in currently from like over here. So we're coming in through a valley here. So likely we're in this valley, probably there. All right, 2,000 more feet to go, and we only have 15 knots to lose, so we're fine. I could yank that spoiler at any point. We got a traffic. 16,300 feet and climbing in front of us. So they are currently above us.
Endeavour 49er A-Tree, you are 42 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect RNAV runway 5 right approach via Gross transition.
Here's the vector. See how we got right?
Direct to Gross.
Direct to Gross. They are giving us Gross. I'm not going to go direct to Gross. I'm going to parallel Gross because that's an ugly turnaround. But they are giving me Gross, so I'm glad I have it in there. All right, we have 1,000 feet to go, and we're still not slow enough, so I'm just going to pull some spoiler because I want to keep our descent rate going. Pull some more spoiler. Let's get that speed down to 250. Again, they don't slap handcuffs on you if you overspeed a little bit. Ah, I'm busy.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect RNAV runway 5 right
There's
approach.
250.
Gross transition. Cleared to Gross Endeavour for 9er.
I'm going to go ahead and switch over to speed mode. All right. And we're going to go down to 249, and I'm going to just gently start pulling the spoiler so we don't descend too fast. All right, so now this will descend us. It will pitch us to maintain that speed. We only have 1,000 feet left to go. So once we're pitched where I need to be, I can switch over to, I don't need to now, switch over to VSI. Now it's locked in that 2,000 feet per minute. So that should keep us around the speed. And now we're in altitude cap. So as we go in altitude cap, I need to start bringing the thrust back up. All right, so once we go direct Gross, the problem with going direct Gross is give me a very difficult turn. So we're not going to do that. We're going to parallel. They might be giving us direct Gross to stay away from the mountains. That's something that could happen here. If I think that's the case, I will cut over to Gross. But again, this is where like this can confuse somebody. Like it's an ugly turn to do, so they wouldn't give it to you like that.
Endeavour 49er A-Tree, contact Knoxville approach on 125.525. Good day.
Say,
Going to 125.5, 25 Endeavor 49er 8 tree. Knoxville approach Endeavor 49er 8 tree 8,000 feet.
all right, so I like to always see my next point. There's gross right there.
0.55 radar contact. Continue to gross.
So the airplane does not do a good job of even turning 90 degrees. A 45, it does a good job of joining. So, like, I want to go past gross and then come in almost on a 45. Because, again, I got to do a 180-degree turn to come back to the airport. Let's see if we can see the airport somewhere over here. That's might be it right there. I can't tell. That could be it right there. I'm not sure. But if you remember the pictures I showed you in Knoxville, there was like some snowy mountains. I would guess that is these taller mountains here. But as you can see, we're right around the tops. We're still above the tops, but we're right around the tops. If we get within 2,000 feet of the mountains, you'll see we start getting a radar. Oops, fast. We'll start getting a radar altimeter popping up, and it'll tell us how many feet we are above the obstacles. Yeah, but going direct gross, we would have turned from here and then have to make a weird turn back, and it's just ugly. Wouldn't be doing that. It's also nice to look at the mountains here. Freaking mountains. Like, I don't know what the... Actually, I can look at the chart and see where these mountains are likely at. Oh, speed. Oh. I did it again. So friggin' annoying that is. There's something that happens when I click over to the other monitor that it likes to put my goddamn landing gear down. And the landing gear max extension speed is 220. So, I don't know what is doing that. It's so annoying. Because the scroll wheel does everything. So it's kind of obnoxious. Yeah, let me look. I was looking at the chart. So it's showing 3,765 feet. I don't know if I believe that on these mountains. They look taller than that. We're at 8,000. Bring up the approach there. Okay, good. Still got a pretty good ground speed. We're doing 296 knots across the ground, so we're waiting here again for gross. I might cut a 90 off gross, and then I'll just cut the corner of it. Slow down just a hair. I'm just trying to get speed up a little bit just to try to get there faster. Did I ever? Okay, I did. I was going to say, did I go over Knoxville approach? I did. Alright, so you can see here, there's gross. Like, it would have been better. Likely, they would not, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't give us gross. They'd probably give us Whoople here, but I'm going to go to gross. So once we get about 90, I'll give us a direct gross. You can see, like, before it looked like those mountains are right at our level. As you can see, we're over the top of them now. So it's just partly kind of foreshortened. I'm curious how much we'll clear them by. Like, if we don't get any register, those might be the 3,600 foot. The 3,600 footers were the short ones down here, I think, though. So these are the taller mountains that are not on the chart. If I looked at the VFR chart here, it might show it. I'm on the wrong thing. Yeah, it's not, like, what use is this VFR as a VFR chart? Why even have this then? Don't even have any little, well, there's a little bit of contour, but it's pretty pissy. But kind of nice going over the Appalachian Mountains here. This is nice. Here. See if we get a radar altimeter going over the top here. Slow down again. Why are we reading? Get the altimeter going for some reason. 5.3. No radar altimeter, so we're over 2,000 feet above them. So look taller than they are. And I'm going about 15, 20 knots fast just to try to get us there. And you wouldn't want to be speeding under 10,000 feet, but likely they would not descend us this fast either. There's no reason to. We have to make Whipple by 3,100, but that's it, you know. There's no real reason to descend us this quickly. I get, you know, I could have held off and descended slower, but they also would have probably held off on the descent instruction. I forget where we came up, where we were flying from when we went to Knoxville. That would have determined what direction we came in on. I'm just going to cut the heading a little bit here. So I like, with the heading bug here, you can see when you first move it, it puts up a line, then the line disappears. That allows you to do intersects really nicely.
Endeavor 49er 8 tree descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
Endeavor 49er 8 tree descend and maintain 3,400 feet.
So likely it's getting these altitudes off of the approach because it doesn't know that we're not on the approach.
Descend and maintain 3,400 feet. Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
The way it tends to operate is kind of like that. Like, it's going to probably think we're actually, you know, inbound of Gross.
Endeavor 49er 8 tree descend and maintain 3,100
It
feet.
thinks we're inside of Gross. We are inside of Gross, but that we had already passed Gross.
Descend and maintain 3,100 feet. Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
So I'm going to take that to just do whatever the hell I want. And we'll go ahead and we'll make a 90 off. We'll go right to Gross at the moment, and then I'll cut it in. All right, let's start descending a little bit faster. All right, track errors coming on. There we go. All right, let me reset it so it's not screwy. All right, nice. All right, I'm gonna cut the corner here in a second. We'll get a little bit closer to Gross. And I'm gonna go direct Whoople. I might go direct Whoople right now. He's got us descending down to Whoople's altitude. I might just go direct Whoople, cut the corner real hard. Let's do that. Why didn't okay. Go Whoople, please. That's what I wanted. I don't know why it didn't give it to me. That's 4,100 feet for 3,100 feet. I would assume the airport is this kind of tan patch there, but I can't tell yet. That's my thought, is it's that tan patch right there. All right, we're in alt cap now. I'm going to let it slow down. Trying to go back on course to Whoople. I don't want it on course to Whoople. I just want a direct Whoople. Letting us slow down here. Once we hit Whoople, I'll start doing gear and flaps. Flowing down to 200 knots here. We'll go a notch. We'll go 2 notches of flaps. That's bright.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please remain seated until we have stopped.
Yep. You can see the airplane over that patch. That's where we're headed. Go away, glare. Go away, glare. Nobody likes you. I'm going to arm the approach.
Endeavor 49er A-tree descend and maintain 2,700 feet.
Let's see.
Descend and maintain 2,700 feet. Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
All right, 2,700 is the final altitude until we hit Voyeur. Then we'll follow the LPV down. There's the runways in sight. All right, gears coming down. I'll go ahead and set my final bug just using this. That's just the V approach. Let it bug it for me. All right, we're on final, so we'll start slowing down. To go over the missed approach procedure, runway heading 1,500 feet direct to VXB, and hold, and we'll climb 4,000 feet in the hold, but likely we'll just ask for vectors back, flaps, flaps. Flaps. All right, let's see how it gives me. I'm still not sure how to make this do the RNAV approaches correctly. I'm still not 100% sure. I've got approach armed. Yeah, approach is armed. We'll see what happens at Voyeur. Voyeur is where the descent happens, so that's where we would be looking for it anyway. You can see we have the radar altimeter below us there. It's showing 1,720 feet below us. It might still need a manual descent rate. You know, I don't know.
Endeavor 49er A-Tree, you are 9 miles southwest of Knoxville. Contact Knoxville Tower on 121.2 when inbound on the
Just
approach.
our frequency change, okay.
Tower on 121.2 Endeavor 49er 8 tree. Knoxville Tower Endeavor 49er 8 tree 8 miles southwest inbound RNAV runway 5 right approach.
Endeavor 49er A-Tree, Knoxville Tower. Altimeter tree 0.55 when calm cleared RNAV runway 5 right approach.
Cleared.
Cleared RNAV runway 5 right approach Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
Slow. All right, I'm gonna see if it will start descending us. I still have to read up on how to do the RNAVs in this plane. If it grabs it and starts descending us, it's doing it on its own. If not, I'll just grab it. Okay, there just did the flip. Alright, so you see it says, okay, outer marker. It's not descending us. Alright. Autopilot's off. Is that a clear to land? I think it was. Yeah.
Cleared to land runway 5 right Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
Alright, we're visual. Supposed to be giving me the LPV. It's lateral and vertical. So it's almost like it runs its own glide slope. Kind of like an ILS, but it's all GPS based. You know, I might have to just spin in the altitude, I don't know. Like spin it to 1,200, put a descent rate in or something, I don't know. Not gonna screw with it right now. Let's do a visual landing.
1,000.
1,000. Established. Clear land. Let's see. Flight attendants advise passenger signs are on. Thrust reversers are not armed. Let's do that. I'm late on this. Thrust reversers armed. Landing gear down 3 green slats. Flaps set to 45. 4-lane check is complete. Clear land. Again, this is why you have 2 pilots, is you'd call for the first officer, the pilot not flying, to go ahead and run that checklist while you're flying. They would check everything, so you can just pay attention to flying. Looking good. We're a little high. I'm not opposed to it. I'll just pull a little bit of power. We'll be on glide slope here. I'm beating the glide slope by a little bit. But we're fine. There we go. Coming on it right now. Nicely now.
9 miles southwest inbound, RNAV runway 5 right approach.
Settling in nice.
November 115
Locked in.
Bravo Bravo, Knoxville Tower. Altimeter tree 0.55 when calm cleared, RNAV runway 5 right approach.
200.
We're on the money.
100.
Cleared RNAV runway 5 right approach, Cessna 5 Bravo Bravo.
40. 30. 20.
Cake. Cake! That was gorgeous. Let's see if we can make this first one. It's not the first one, it's the second one after it. But that's the one that I briefed that we might be able to get off of if I butter it on. We buttered it, so. This is the one I wanted here. Because the next one is a back taxi.
Exit runway when able.
This is what sucks when there's no high-speed taxiways. You gotta make the 90.
Endeavor 49er 8 tree, contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er Endeavor 49er 8 tree. Goodbye.
God damn it, I hate it when it does that. My mouse goes in and it makes it so that it
Knoxville ground Endeavor 49er 8 tree request taxi to the
Please
gate.
remain seated until
that
the
yet.
aircraft has
Endeavor 49er 8 tree, taxi to gate tree using taxiway Alpha.
Taxiing to gate tree using taxiway Alpha Endeavor 49er 8 tree.
Alright, after land checklist APUs coming on, transponder, let's put that to off. Slats flaps set to 0, lights are set, probes can come off. There we go. APU up, APU's up, AC. And we'll check that in a second here when I get that off. All right, shutting down 2. Not sure where our park gate is here. Let's go over here. There's a tug. Just take it over here. All right, APU's taking AC and DC. Hydraulics are all taken off. We're good there. All right, good. Let's see. I think we want this gate over here is the one I want to take right here. I don't think there's an actual, no, there's a terminal diagram. Yep, there's a terminal diagram. That is gate 3. I've got a terminal diagram. I'll show you on the chart. There's a terminal diagram, tells you the gate numbers. That's nice because you can look as you're coming in. But this appears to be 3 right here. This is odds on one side and evens on the other. So this is 1, 3, 5. There we go. Shut down 1. Alright, I'll show you in the diagram here. Shut off track IR. Nope, click back in the game and then shut off track IR. There we go. Alright. Alright, if you look at the diagram here, there's the terminal, and then if you look at the terminal diagram, there's your numbers. So some of these have inserts. And then it also gives you coordinates, so you can put them in the IRS system, but I just use the GPSs. Well, you can see there's that's how you find your gate. Also, like IRL, they're going to put them generally on the gate or on the building, so you can actually see them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the door is open. Please make your way to the exit and please make sure you have all your personal items and carry-on luggage.
Knoxville Ground Endeavor 49er-8 could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Endeavor 49er-8 the jetway is going to be connected.
Knoxville Ground Endeavor 49er-8 could you please send the catering truck?
Endeavor 49er-8 the catering truck is on the road.
Knoxville Ground Endeavor 49er-8 could you please send the baggage?
Endeavor 49er-8
I have to drive through my wing with one another. I got a picture. I want to get a picture of all of them in position when they get in position. But yep, that was a good flight. The catering truck goes in. This right door usually connects the galley, so they can get in and out of there. Let's just take a picture once that top bullshit goes away. There we go. That's good. All right, nice. That was a good flight. Enjoyed that one. Good to get back to Knoxville. That, like I said, that was a really fun airport when I flew there years ago. The airport wasn't all that fun. It was the town was a good town, and I enjoyed that. That was good. I don't know why it shut me down. Probably just because everybody got position. But yeah, that was good. So one thing I'd like to see in Flightsim 24. So what I would want to do now is if I was going to continue this flight, I would like to be able to save. That's one thing. I want to save right now, and I want everything to be the same. All right, now that might not be possible, whatever. But the other thing, too, is I would want to be able to do a turn. And so with doing the turn, I want to be able to go ahead and, for example, do my flight plan and be in this airplane right here and then leave. I don't have to go back to the main menu and do it all through there and then come back in. That's kind of obnoxious. I wish they would not do that. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're new and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.